feel like 25 is getting serious. My frontal lobe developed at 24. At what point, when do you stop learning? God telling you and giving you a pass saying you're ready for the next chapter. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Natalie. Today we're gonna be talking about the 8 things that I learned at 25, turning 25 pretty soon. So I wanted to reflect back on what this age has been for me and share it with you so that you can take little gems. And also if you're in the same age or stage of life like how I am, then maybe you can relate with this video. For starters, everyone is on their own path in life. What I might have learned at 24, you might have learned younger than me, or you might have learned older than me. Everyone is completely different, but if you're also 24, you're turning 25, or you're turning 24, then you might understand kind of like this perspective a little bit more. I have a handful of things that I've written down just reflecting on this past year and what I've taken away from it. So we're gonna get into every single one of these right now. You know how they say that when you turn 25, your frontal lobe develops? That's when your brain fully stops developing and you're fully mature. I feel like that happened to me at 24. There were so many realizations and so many suddenlies that I felt like I was much older than I was and much wiser. Every day I'm gaining wisdom, but at 24 I gain so much wisdom that it's like, how much more can I learn? But to get straight into it, we're gonna start with the big one, and that is womanhood. Something happened to me this year where I had to shift how I looked at life. I'm gonna give you an analogy because I love analogies. When you're watching a TV show or you're watching a movie, usually like if you're in your early 20s, or you know, if you're like at this age like how I am right now, you relate more with the character that's the daughter, the sister, the youngest female in the cast, because their stage in life, you relate to it more, so you put yourself in their shoes. But I feel like what 24 was for me was putting myself in the shoes of the mother, woman, wife, and it's something that I've never thought about before until this year. There were some things where it's just like I had to fend for people younger than me, keep them away from like other bad people in this world, evil people with bad intentions, and life kind of threw me into that, but it was with so much benefit, because now this trickles down into everything else that I learned that I'm gonna get into, and how is life gonna be for me now moving forward as a woman, not just as a girl or as a daughter, but as a woman. Eventually it's gonna be a mom one day, it's gonna be a wife one day. Everything changed for me, and I feel like that played a huge role for me this year. So branching off into womanhood, I also learned a lot about marriage. I'm turning 25, and how I like to think about things is that I feel like I'm at a good age to now be in a serious committed relationship. And I feel like throughout my life, I've learned so much from other people's mistakes, and not with judgment, but I know what I'm willing to accept and what I'm willing not to, just because I've seen other people go through things. So I have high standards, and in no way am I apologetic for that. Let's take off my glasses. It's getting serious. I just feel like 24 taught me a lot about commitment and relationships now at this age, and as I get older. Settling where you don't feel happy, where the person just does not like you. I want to be with someone that likes me, that respects me, that has all these great qualities that maybe I haven't seen in other people's relationships. I say marriage because I feel like this year at 24, I was put in my heart to strive for that, and I've never thought about that before. I've never thought about marriage or like my wedding day or my dream ring until this year. That's why I say like I feel like my frontal lobe developed at 24. Now I just like can't get it out of my head. It's like that or nothing. 3, the meaning of trust, surrender, and patience. Those 3 words were the highlight of my 24th year. I feel like growing up you hear trust the process, surrender, be patient, but you don't understand the true meaning of it until you go through life and through the hardship, where you actively have to put all of these words and their meanings into practice. For example, a lot of people tell you trust the process, surrender to the unknown, be patient with life, be patient with what God has for you. But it's like you're so frustrated with not having it right now, or you know, when is it gonna happen? All these questions. And I'm telling you, the more that you hear these words on repeat, the more that you tell these words repeat it to yourself, the more that you truly understand it. The trust, how to fully trust, how to let go, how to be patient and live in the now and not wanting to be more in the future than what you have right now. It's a big one, but I feel like once you get it down, you feel so at peace with life. For strengthening boundaries. This isn't one that I feel like is strictly for 24, but I feel like for the past several years that I've been learning how to have boundaries with people, primarily with people that you know and that are in your personal life. How do you set up boundaries with them? And how do you learn how to step away, how to distance yourself in a healthy manner, and prioritize yourself, prioritize your well-being? Because if not, people are going to walk all over you. People are going to continue these patterns of making you feel like your feelings aren't valid or gaslighting you. I feel like just making you feel powerless. So how do you know when to not give them information that they're maybe going to use against you and not feeling bad about it? I feel like when it comes to boundaries, a lot of people feel bad for taking action, stepping away, not speaking to people, and I feel like you should not, because setting up boundaries is benefiting you so much and you should never feel bad about doing something that makes you feel good and protects your mental health, your well-being. A lot of people are gonna have a lot to say and they're gonna call you names, but I promise you, if you stay true to yourself and setting up those boundaries, you're gonna feel so much better. So that is something that I have been practicing honestly for about 4 years now, and it was not easy because I always felt bad about those decisions. But this year I really solidified boundaries and I don't feel bad about it at all. If somebody has an issue with my boundaries, that's your problem. 5, choosing to see the good in life. Keyword choosing. I read somewhere, and I think it was somewhere in my Bible or just something that I was listening to on YouTube, where it said that life is a human experience. Life, you're meant to have good and bad days, good and bad situations. Life is not just about the good and the good that you get out of it. And life is also not the things that have been difficult for you. I feel like for me, I always used to focus on the negative because I really struggled with my mental health, that my brain was trained to look at the negatives and focus on that because I really did not have much good going on. As I get out of it and as I started to heal, you know, good things did start to happen. I did start accomplishing things. I'm remembering, oh yeah, I actually did do that. Oh yeah, I actually did accomplish that. Oh yeah, I actually did feel good that one day. This even goes to what you document about your life. At the end of 2024, when I looked back at my year and I looked at what I had journaled and what I had written down, I realized that I accomplished a lot that were actually really good moments, but I was focusing on what I lacked. Think about the good that's happening and document that. 6, my faith and my relationship with God. I believe in God. I've always believed in God. I feel like I never really open up about my faith, but my faith means so much to me and I want to start talking more about it because it truly has changed my life. Sometime around November is when I really started getting into my Bible and having my relationship with God and realizing that my relationship with God is a foundation to everything else that I want out of life. Everything is in the Word, and I did not know that. I opened up my Bible one day and I realized that there are so many specific topics that I didn't know were mentioned in there, and that has made me feel so comforted. I'm super grateful that I get to take that with me from this age. 7, rejection and pivoting. I feel like when it comes to my career, I faced a lot of rejection, and I've been facing a lot of rejection for the past 4 years, actively applying to jobs, you know, seeking that dream role that I've always wanted. And that was really hard on my mental health. I used to question, why am I facing so much rejection? Why am I facing so much rejection? At this stage in my life, I should have this, I should have that, I should have experienced this. And to think about life from that standpoint is harming yourself. So I had to take a step back and think about, what is rejection and what does that mean to me and why is it happening? I feel like a big thing is that rejection kind of redirects you onto what you're really meant to do. What was I getting rejected from, and what was another thing or area in my life where I was thriving in? So I was getting rejected from jobs, but I was also getting really successful with creating content, getting invited to events, getting PR, getting gifted, connecting with all these people and all these brands, getting rejected from a job. I was tired of it. I had been going through it for years, and I knew that if I continued applying and if I continued getting rejected, I was gonna be at the same place in my life where I am right now in 5 years. So I did something about it, and then I just took all my knowledge, all the experience that I had, and I just started putting it out there without having the title of job. That led me to so many other things, like mentoring people on their career journey and getting paid for it, just something I would have never expected for myself. I have written down, if it's not working out, what other route can you take? Lastly, number 8, remembering I am well equipped. I had been through a mental health struggle for years. I had to heal, I had to learn, I had to unlearn. I feel like life is this constant cycle of learning. At what point, when do you stop learning? So for me, this year was realizing that I have all I need to move with me to the next chapter. I have healed enough, I have learned enough, and of course life is going to continue moving, and I'm gonna continue getting wiser, I'm gonna continue learning, I'm gonna continue going through all of these things. Kind of like God telling you and giving you a pass, saying you're ready. You're ready for the next chapter. Now looking on to 25, I see the number, I think of it, and I feel very grown about it. I feel like it's a very mature age. I know that people in their 20s, when birthdays come around, they feel very scared because they're getting older. I'm not scared, because I feel like as I get older, life is gonna get better with experiences, meeting people, going places. Much of that I haven't experienced myself, so I feel like within the years I'm gonna get those experiences. Those are all the 8 things that I learned at 24. I want to know what you guys took out of this video. Is there something that you have also learned? And what's a piece of advice that you would give me for my 25th year? Also, if any of these topics interested you, I would love to go more in depth on them. I actually think that I honestly am, because I can talk and go on and on about all of these topics for hours. But thank you so much for watching, and if you don't follow me already on my socials, you can follow me on Instagram and you can follow me on TikTok. And don't forget to subscribe, because again, I'm going to be talking more about all of these topics. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Much love.